So this is the Mail's front page today, reporting the Chancellor has been renting out her family home illegally since moving into number 11 Downing Street last year. Her home is in an area of Dulwich in South London where private landlords are required to obtain what's called a selective licence. If they don't, that is a criminal offence, and it could be punished by an unlimited fine or an order to pay back 12 months' rent or whatever. And Reeves says she has been renting out the home via an external lettings agency, but was not aware until now the licence was necessary. Last night, she alerted the government's independent ethics advisor and admitted the error in a letter to the Prime Minister. So Keir Starmer then dismissed the calls for an investigation because he said it's clear she is treating this matter with seriousness and with the urgency it deserves. The Conservatives, on the other hand, do want a full investigation and they're calling for her to be sacked. So she's using, Paulette, what we could call the Angela Rayner excuse, which is, I was told this was OK by somebody.
No, I don't agree. It's two different circumstances. What I would say in this case, and I absolutely believe this, no, she shouldn't be sacked. Last year, she was elevated into the position of Chancellor. And what happened was she gave her house to a letting agency. Surely to God, if you give your house to a letting agency that you're paying them a proportion of the price, they should then tell you clearly out of that money, they should pay that £500. She wasn't told this.
Oh, it was a £500 charge she didn't pay.
She didn't pay.
Well, she should have paid it.
Yeah, but she didn't know.
Why didn't she know she's a Chancellor?
No, not at all, because it was different councils do different things, and she didn't know. And as a landlord, she had probably gone into it for the first time and had no idea. So my view is on this occasion, the Prime Minister was right to accept her apology and move on. We've got bigger issues. She said now she will pay that money, and I agree. She's apologised. She's going to pay that money. Let's move on.
What do you think, Mike?
Well, I have some sympathy with what Paulette said. It's a piece of red tape. It's a bit of red tape that she's fallen foul of. I mean, Angela Rayner was accused and eventually held her hands up to making a financial advantage from the way she didn't behave with her property. But quite frankly, I can't get upset about this. It's a minor incursion.
It doesn't apply in lots of areas. So lots of places you can rent your house out without it.
Exactly.
It's Southwark Council, and they obviously have some sort of rule. But the point is, I mean, obviously you're sympathetic here. She is the Chancellor.
Yeah, I know.
She's supposed to be good at one thing, and that's numbers.
No. This is a tiny, incursion on red tape planning laws. Now, what I would say is that this week as well, Paula, you will back me up here, the rental reform bill is being introduced in the Commons,
correct,
which affects millions of people, including me, who are property investors, and it just shows you how property is another magnet for money for this government, right? And I'm going to suffer, and other people are going to suffer because it's more red tape. So I would say to the Chancellor, please look at what's happened to you. It can happen so easily, and strap the red tape in the property market.
Okay. Conservative leader Kemi Badenoch is not as merciful as you sound. She's just addressed this whole issue in a speech.
Just this morning, we've seen the news. Rachel Reeves apparently has broken a law, just like Angela Rayner before her and Louise Haigh before her. All we see is the Labour cabinet making mistakes, breaking laws. If the Chancellor can't even get it on top of her own paperwork, how's she going to get on top of the country's paperwork?
Well, there we are. It's not so much malevolence, Paulette, she's alleging. It's incompetence.
And I don't agree with that.
She's not
Unfortunately, Kemi Badenoch can say exactly what she likes. At the end of the day, on this one, Rachel gave the property to an agency. The agency should have told her, this is what you need to do. And they didn't do that. So Kemi Badenoch can say what she likes. She's in the opposition, and that's what she does.
All right, let's go to Shelley in Tyne and Wear. Shelley, what do you think?
Well, I think it's an absolute load of rubbish, actually, because Rachel Reeves I'd like to hear of the company that's been dealing, but Rachel Reeves has been campaigning for this to happen in other areas. So she's a liar to say she didn't know it is in her area. Could you imagine another landlord that said, oops, I'm sorry, I didn't know about it, but they would get the full force of the law and a big fine. They wouldn't just get away with it, I'm sorry. No, yeah. I think it's a lie, a barefaced lie, and I'm not looking into it because he probably knows that she has deliberately done it. This has gone on for a year, and it's only been found out by a local paper as well. that this has come out.
Well, I mean, this is the other issue is about the timing of her apology, because if it comes, the papers ring up Downing Street and say, hang on, she's not paid this thing. She then says, oh, I haven't. I'm sorry, everyone. We wouldn't have known, Paulette, if someone hadn't investigated it. She's not volunteered anything.
I am going to say
change the world, will it?
Exactly. And at the top, I've got to agree with you, Mike.
Well,
at the end of the day, she gave it to an agency, and when you give things to an agency, if there are things you're meant to do, they are supposed to advise you.
That's
and
the
they
Angela Rayner defense. And when Angela Rayner blamed her property conveyancer, they gave an interview.
I think it's totally different.
It's totally different.
I agree with Paulette. For instance, right, one of my properties was being redecorated. So for a month, there was no tenant in it. I arranged to pay the council tax to the local authority. I did not know that authority had suddenly doubled council tax on second homes.
Oh.
So they came to me with a summons for the rest of the money. But again, it's red tape.
Yeah. OK, Shelley, what do you make of Paulette saying, actually, she left it in the hands of the lettings agency and they bungled it?
Well, like I say, I'd like to hear of this lettings agency, she knew about it.
Yeah.
She knew it was in her areas, so she should have said, well, what about the licence? If that was the case, I don't get it. It's just another lie. They come out with all these lies.
Thank you very much. Simon in Manchester, what do you think? Is this a bad one?
Given what Labour have done already, no, not really. It's small fry. I'm a landlord, and no, listen, I'm no fan of Labour or the Conservatives for that matter, with what they've done with the Renters' Rights Bill and possibly EPCC. But no, she shouldn't be sacked. In terms of the letting agency, no, actually, it's not their responsibility. The buck stops for the landlord. With Awab's law coming in, if there's mould in the property, the letting agent might do inspections. It's not their responsibility, it's the landlord.
Yeah.
But what I would say, as a final point on this, if she is not fined, then guess what? Or any other landlord that breaks the same rule should also not be fined.
Well, it's I mean, if they swerve it accidentally, that's true. Thank you, Simon. Tom in London, do you think this is serious? She's got essentially a law that she wants, which is for landlords to have to pay an annual sum to register. She has not obeyed herself.
Well, it's very simple, Jeremy. No one's above the law. Can you hear me?
Well, yeah, I'm listening, yeah.
Yeah, no one, in my opinion, is above the law. And when you're in a high position of authority, it's even more important to stick to the rules. And what your previous gentleman said, it is the requirement of the property owner to know. You can't plead ignorance, and that's what Angela Rayner did. And just very, very quickly, it needs to be investigated because it seems very quickly that Keir Starmer, I don't know what information he's had, but did he get information from the letting agency? Have they been approached? When did Rachel Reeves know about this? And how was she told about it?
Can I just put you, Tom? Look, I'm not a big fan of the Chancellor of the Exchequer, and later on in the show, I might illustrate that. But I think we should go after her for the things she's doing wrong, which are damaging the economy of this country. And I just think this is petty politicking. And quite frankly, I think it waters down the real problems that we've got with the Chancellor.
Tom?
No, Mike, you're absolutely right. Mike,
Yeah.
I totally agree. Mike, I totally agree with you, but it's about trust. It's about trust, Mike. It's about normal people like me watching the telly and seeing politicians getting away with things when we're struggling out here, and it's about trust. In my previous job, I was a trade union officer. Most of the people I represented, when they really got sacked, it boiled down to breach of trust.
Yeah, Tom, thank you. Sylvia in Durham. Hi, Sylvia, how are you?
Yeah, good morning, Jeremy.
What do you think? Is this a big one or a small one?
Well, me personally, I think she should be sacked. She is a politician. She's a very high politician. Yeah. She knows about the law and she committed an offence. She should be sacked. She's done wrong and she should hold her hands up. But I do understand what Mike's saying. I do think there's more important things in this world going wrong and the government need to be dealing with them because the general public are absolutely fed up to the back teeth of being put on and stamped on over and over and over again. And not just by Labour, but by Conservative as well. They all have committed so many fouls and they've gotten away with it. And it's time that they'd paid their penance.
Well, if Labour don't shape up, there will be a reform government. There's no doubt about that.